Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I miss you guys all so much. And I know this has been a learning curve for everyone. So keep up all the great work that you're doing and make sure to give your parents a really big hug because they're working really hard too. For this week, we're going to work on scissor skills. So I'm going to kind of give parents some tips and feedback on things that I look for when I'm working with your children on cutting. So typically, the biggest part of cutting is using both hands separately. So being able to, of course, cut with one hand, but then also using your opposite hand to help turn the paper, to make sure that your helper hand is in a safe spot so we're not cutting any fingers off, looking for safety things like that. So what I would say is sometimes what you'll see for kids, I'm going to try to record it as best as I can. Sometimes what you'll see for kids is as they're cutting, their arm will be out like this, and they're cutting like this with their elbow out and their arm straight. That's one thing you definitely don't want to see. What that typically means is that they're trying to compensate due to decreased hand strength. So they're trying to use their shoulder muscles to assist with that cutting part because their hands aren't strong enough to open and close. So what you want to see is you want to see elbow down and wrist in neutral. So your thumb should be up, wrist in neutral, right? So we want to see someone cutting like this, not out to the side. If you notice your child is cutting out to the side like this as they're going, what you can do is you can put a paper or a folder or something underneath their arm like this, and tell them to hold it up as they're cutting. So then they keep that elbow in, which is going to help decrease their use of compensatory strategies to take their arm out. So always make sure that elbow is down to their side, their wrist is in neutral. I'll also see some kids kind of go like this and cut off to the side. We don't want to see that either. Always thumbs up as they're cutting. And then the opposite hand should be help turning the paper as needed while they're cutting. Another thing to look for is making sure, again, the seating and positioning is correct so that they are able to touch the ground wherever they're cutting. They have good back support because ideally we want them to be supported as they're doing these tasks. My other piece of advice for cutting is I'll give them a lot of verbal cues usually if they're cutting, like turn the paper, because what they'll try to do instead is as they're cutting something out, like if they were cutting out a square, they'll go up, and then they turn their wrist and they keep this hand stationary and cut down. And obviously as I'm cutting, I'm at risk of cutting myself. So a big verbal cue I'll use is make sure to turn the paper, and I'll repeat that over and over and over again if we're working on circles or triangles or squares. Turn the paper, because you always want that hand in neutral, thumb up, with the arm by their side. That's what you're always looking for. If they aren't doing that, that typically means that they're trying to compensate somehow. So take a look out for those things as you guys practice cutting this week. And if you do have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'm here to help in any way I can, okay? All right, well, have a good week, and I'll post the rest of your assignments up on the website. Thank you.